Well, well, well. Got me an Umarex box, brother. Umarex. That is spelled Umarex. And I'm not quite sure what we got. But let's see what... oh, this is a good tight packed box. Maybe you should do a push me versus a pull me. Sure I don't hit Bambi up there. Okay. We've got us the Primal 20 gauge. Now, I've seen these. I have never touched one nor played with one, and that wasn't because of the law. So I am really excited to see what we've got here. I've only dealt with the 20 gauge rifled barrel guns. I've never dealt with a smooth bore in the 20. So I'm curious to see what type of barrel we have, what this likes to eat, and what it does. If it's what I'm hoping for, we'll be set to go, because I've got some beautiful 20 gauge hollow points. So we open this baby up. A little open box video here. I'll turn it so you can see it. Okay, so it's boxed pretty good. We've got, dang, as Joe Dirt would say. Dang. Dig it, brother. Looks like mega-sized two-shot clips, kind of like the like an oversized Big Brother version of the two-shot magazine for the hammer. We've got two of these, which is nice. It's like a very heavy-duty polymer. Nice meaty cocking handle. That's nice. Okay, so you guys are getting to see everything that I'm seeing for the first time. A manual, which I always go through. I'll do that on my own time. A suppository? Well, we'll see what this is. It looks like this is something to maybe push something or load something. We will find out as we dig through it. I don't think it's a feminine health product. So we will investigate that and talk about it in the details. Okay, so we'll take the rifle out. This nice Ziploc bag here, this her tied up bag. And whoever tied this knot in the plastic did a pretty good job. If I can undo it. Yeah, there we go. All right. Okay. Now, what else is in the bag? Oh, just a public service announcement, FYI. Okay. This is not instant hot chocolate. Don't make the mistake I did last time. This is desiccant beads to keep it dry from moisture. Boy, was I surprised when I added the hot water. Now, we'll tuck that away there. We'll take the rifle, the cocking knob, two magazines out. There, I'll put that there. Tuck this away. I really should make a nice corner for videos and stuff to work on, but I don't plan to stay here in Northwest Indiana for the rest of my life. I'm getting tired of snow, cold, and ice. I want to move somewhere south where it's warmer, but not like Florida heat. But we got a longer growing season, so we're going to have the garden and the fruit trees. Because everybody knows Mr. Jalapois likes his fruit trees. Alrighty. We got a... Oh, Lord have mercy. We got a... Okay, I can't deal with these. There's too many in a knot. Okay, so we've got our caution stickers here. 20 gauge PCP air rifle. 4,000 PSI air tank. Bolt action, 2 shots. Fires primal slugs and shot shells. So this is a dually. So it does shot shells and slugs. That is in French. I don't read French. Warning safety, never put your hands around the mag well. Okay. And in French. I think that's French. That's in French. Bolt moves quickly and with great force when fired. Don't keep your hands around the cocking bolt. So like most external, you know, that cocking bolt moves, so you don't want your hands or your fingers up in that neighborhood. Alright, so this baby looks like it just screws in, which is self-evident. There we go. Alright, we got a tag here by our fill nipple. Nipple. Low pressure, optimum pressure, overfill. So 4,000 PSI seems to be, we're at 0 at the moment. So we have no fill. But 4,000 PSI on your tag. And as I've said before with the hammer videos, go through your paperwork, okay? You guys think that I may not, and I just jump into stuff without paying attention like a typical man, which I do, but I do check this stuff out. I just don't, you know, do it while we're on the video because, you know, you guys might think that next thing you know I'm going to have a man bun or something ridiculous like that. Safety warnings. All right. 20 gauge. Ah, I was right. This is a loading tool, okay? Not to be confused with something used for invertical fetalization. Alrighty. Trigger guard, safety, bolt, picton rail, shot mag. 2 rounds. Twist. So the basics is your safety, your fill pressure, page 8 talks about when you're loading a bullet, a slug, you load it, you push it in like a muzzle loader, but a shotgun shell, you push through this direction like you're loading a regular cartridge. Okay, interesting. All right. And again, I'm just this. Does it load left to right or right to left, or does it make a difference? Right. You squeeze these 2 nipples on the side. It slides in, so the slots are face forward. Okay, that is a very tight seal, gentlemen. Okay. So it's a manual All right. Okay. So I'm looking at this just like you are, and it's amazing. Oh, and it says right here on the side, details, 4,000 psi, 275 bar. I don't drink, so I'm not going to be hanging out at the bar. 20 gauge. And this does feel like a shotgun, you know, with the your shell tube up front, short barrel. What is this barrel length? All right, 21 inch, just a little over 21 inch barrel. You've got it looks like a screw-in choke that this rifled. I'll have to do some more reading on that. Page 10 talks about the choke. Change the choke. It's easy to decock. It's just like any other of the big bores. You know, when it's cocked, and then to decock it, you hold the trigger down, let the handle go forwards, and it's got a beautiful big handle to grip on. So yeah, my first impressions is we've got a smooth bore for the shot shells, and then a twisted rifle choke for running the slugs through. So that's what I'll be starting with, is slugs, and see what type of grouping we get with this. All right, so of course I gotta get some type of put a scope on there. And I always like any rifle that comes with a pick rail already established on top. That is a bonus. Cool. I'm gonna get this set up. We'll get a scope on it, and we'll throw some slugs down it just to see, get some initial numbers over the chronograph. All right, don't go anywhere, guys. We're having lots of fun today. Okay, so we got a bag of primal wads, shot cup wads, and plugs, which slip over to keep the shot from falling out. So that way you can preload these, keep them in your pocket, and then, let me get the other end, and then you can load it on in, you know, and then you're ready to go for your bird hunters or your turkey busters. Now I'm starting with these Dangerous Game Primal slugs, the Umarex Primal 20, and as you can tell, it's got a twist to the slug, and the wad goes in the backside, goes in the booty, because on most smooth bore setups, you know, if you've been hunting with shotguns your whole life, slugs, they're not the same as a regular tack driving rifle. So you need a tail, just like a kite needs a tail to keep it to fly straight. You need a tail on the slug to help keep it weight forward, just like an arrow. You know, you need feathers to keep it straightened out so it goes in the general direction. So then this just kind of pushes in. See, the bullets go in from the front to the back, and then you've got here it is, your tool to give it a little bit of a shove. Go. So they're even in the back. and then just make sure it's face forwards when you're putting it in. Again, this is all new for me, guys. So, okay, push it in. So I guess if you're a lefty or a righty, you'd go the opposite direction. But it's, you know, either way. So we've got 4,000 PSI in. I just grabbed this particular scope off the shelf just because it was laying there. But most of the time you're using a shotgun. You're going to be using an aim point, a red dot, something like that. I just grabbed this. I got an aim point, but I got to find batteries for it. So this is what we're starting with. Got to have these, and I'm just curious on where this is going to wind up. So now the cocking handle has two positions. The first one, I think, is just keeping the head, the hammer off the valve stem, and then all the way back is 100% full. You've got your safety here. Okay, so in this direction it's on. Push it this way and you're ready to fire, like most rifles and whatnot. I'll put these here, put that there, and let's see where she's gonna hit. All right, fire in the hole. Damn. As you can see, I got floaters coming down because we've got a drop ceiling, so the tiles go up and then mouse poop and whatnot comes down. This bullseye. Now granted, it's only 15 yards, but I don't have to adjust the scope. Yay! So now I'm going to set up the chronograph just for grins and see what she does. Let's see. To pull that out. Bingo, and I'll put another one in. That's pretty sweet. Trust me, I like it when I don't have to do a whole lot of monkeying around. This is my first time working with a screw-in choke that's rifled. I've had those before, you know, on my my Remingtons and whatnot. Yeah, those fit really tight in there. All right, we're going to get that set up, and then we'll get some numbers for you. Somewhat loud, but again, with the hearing protection, we're good. So far, Umarex, looking good. The only thing missing out of this would be an Umarex t-shirt. Okay, I've got a Eric Henderson t-shirt with the old Grinaldi image. It's kind of neat. It's set up, looks like a whiskey bottle, but it's all air rifle. Put these on. Fire in the hole. One. So you only need to press the button on the side that you're working with, because there's one on each side. right. Okay, starting with 4,000, ending with 2,600. 2 shots. I'm going to treat this like it's a carbine, so I'm going to do 2 shots and then refill. All right. So, and let's see if I push this, slides it out. Looking good, gentlemen, looking good. Unfortunately, I will not be testing any type of shot in the basement, okay? Spread pattern, not going to happen. All right, let's keep working at this. So, fellas, so this, I weigh with the wad attached, okay? This is just under 400 grains. It's actually 392 and a fraction. So that's the Primal 20 gauge slugs. Now the book says that this is a 625 diameter. The slugs, the 20 gauge slugs I've been making previous are 622. So they're a little loose when you put them in here. You can feel it kind of sliding around a little bit, back and forth. So I don't know how well they're going to work, but we're going to try them out just as is. Push the button in the front. Oh no, push the button, both buttons, until it clicks. So unfortunately, the first one's in there. The second one can slide out because the diameter is slightly under. Again, these that I have were for a different rifle. So we'll see what we can see. Put that on first. Bullseye, but you know, if it's sliding out, it doesn't help. $7.58. And these are 440, so they're about 42 grains heavier than the factory. This close. And the air consumption and the speed are almost identical. The Primal slugs were 762 and the 440s were 758, and then both on the second shot, both were 722. So the second shot's almost identical. Question is can I make these 440s slightly tighter? And that's what we're going to play around with. I may just see if a loose strip of tape around the rings of the bullet will fix the situation, versus spending $8 grand on designing a whole nother set of 20 gauge slugs. Well, let's see what happens. Okay. Now, granted, it's not the fix that I like, but if you know, and I used to laugh at other people, you take the bullet, you just need a little bit of wedge on the back, and it gives you just enough, this little burr, to keep the bullet in the magazine. Now granted, like I said, I didn't make these for this rifle, but by just doing that on a couple, like 4 spots all the way around, it gives it enough that it wedges in and it's not going to slide out. Okay, so right, get that out the way. What was that? I think we put 4,000 in this, didn't we? Tell, I do things so quick I don't remember half the time. Okay, 4,000. Ear protection on. Fire in the hole. Yes. Okay, the first shot was good. Now let's do the second shot. Oh, since the second shot's got a little less oomph. There we go. Right. Shooting ballistic gel block. I was just curious. We'll go down and check it out. Okay guys, this is, alright, I'm trying to play with this. This is a ballistic gel block. Alright, now granted, we're at 15 yards and I got a big thumbprint right there. But this is shot, that's shot number 1 right there. Okay, that's shot number 1. And then shot number 2 is right there. You see that down there? It's more there. So they look, just by looking at them, I can tell these beasties mushroom beautifully. I am the originator of the micro groove hollow point. Anybody else that tells you different, they're a liar, and I'll tell it to their face. This is my design. Let me pull these out, guys. I got some needly nose pliers for this. I just don't know if we can get this in there. I am the originator, the masturbator, the man who creates this stuff. Let's see, can you see me? Slowly, there you go. Okay, so there is the first slug. That is beautiful. Where's it starting out looking like that? Now that is awesome possum for the 62 Primal. And I'm going to dig the other one out. It's at the bottom, so it's going to take a little more umption to grab that gumption. I should be a rhymesmith. I'm so smart. Oh, there we go. This is what it's like at the dentist. There we go. All right, now this one was doing about 722, so this was slightly slower than this one, doing I think 756, 758. But both are beautiful. I mean, these are just, you know, beautiful. You know, I really want to kill a hog with this now. Just budget it. I can't afford to pay for like 3 animals. So that's what we're looking at, gentlemen. You know, that is a beautiful hollow point. Meat and two veg. Looking beautiful. So, I've been shooting this a bunch of times down here in the basement. And I got to tell you, it is zinging them. Now granted, you know I'm not a solid guy. But with these primal slugs that they give you, they are designed for a smooth-bore environment. And so since this has just got the twist at the end of the screw-in choke, these really work well. I mean, if you look at Rick Ream shoot, he's testing these out, and he's holding some great groups. I'll have to do that next, get outside, but so far I'm just doing the power testing. So these are 392 grains with the wad, okay, and the two shots give me the first shot 505 foot-pounds, the second shot 453 foot-pounds, and then I decided to try out the some of the hollow points that I make, and I went with the lightest one to start out with, the 440, since this is close to 400, keeping in the same range, because the next ones get heavier and heavier. So working with the 440, 561 foot-pounds, which, and then the second shot was 509 foot-pounds. So just a little bit more foot-pounds of energy, especially for that second shot. We need to get out at a distance and see how they work. Ideally, if I could glue or screw a wad, on the tail at the end of my hollow points, it would probably give it a little bit of increase in oomph and maybe accuracy. I don't know yet. I'm just thinking in my old days working with the old Remington Pump Master. So, again, this is going to be an experiment to see how these work. But at the moment, excuse-moi, I saw that mouse urine coming down from the ceiling when the ceiling tiles go up from the burst of the air. Shouldn't have said that out loud. So, anyways, these are designed well for this rifle. But as always, I try to make something with a hole in it, so I'm not taking anything away from what Umarex is doing. Excellent job. I really like the setup. The more you play with this, the quicker you're going to get with it. But you got two good shots at 4,000 PSI. I have to do bird shot or some type of buckshot next for these. And with that, then I will unscrew and take the rifle choke out of it. For bird, for shot, you don't want your slug spinning. It's going to throw your shot around. But I may try a couple, just see what happens, and then okay, I'll take it out. But other things are popping through my head. Number 4 buckshot. How many can I get in? Can I get 3 50 cal balls in here and still keep this? My mind is always still working towards deer rifle. Where some of you guys that do have are blessed to get out and turkey hunt, you're thinking turkey. I'll play around with what shot I have. I do have a couple 100 pounds of assorted different shot. I just don't know what sizes or what. But that'll be for the outdoor video. So right out of the box, I was impressed. The only thing I had to do is, like is with most air rifles, if they're on empty when you get them, you cock it to that first notch, that first little click, just to get the hammer off the valve stem, if that's the proper terminology I'm using. Then when you fill it, everything seats and it plugs and fills properly. A lot of air guns, you leave the hammer down and the air then just floats out the barrel because you need to take that pressure off. Once it's filled, you never have that problem. Beautiful, lightweight, well, not super light, but comfortable gripping. Like I said, is a regular scope needed? I don't know. A lot of guys for slug guns just use a standard fixed power, 3x9. I just grabbed what I had sitting around the house. So far, so good. I said I may put on an aim point later. I may not. For birds, of course, you're not going to use this for birds. I mean, come on, Well, I could see turkey sitting on, you could line it up that way, but not doves or ducks or, anything like that. You can't use a regular scope unless, like, you're a trick shooter. So I'm liking this Umarex. Thank you guys. Thank you. This is so far fun. You've got a spot here in the front, I believe, and I am correct because there's one in the back. It's already threaded for sling swivel studs, so that way you don't have to mess up or drill into this polymer, whatever material the stock is made out of. Yeah, so far so good. It's got the standard fill nipple on the front. Thank you very much. No probes. I hate anal probes. So I think we're good. I think we're good, gentlemen. Any questions about this, feel free to hit me up. Not that I can tell you too much. Pricing and so on, contact your Umarex vendor and see what they're doing. And we're going to keep going, testing and playing with this. But as an open box video, I'm pretty impressed. And I am kind of jonesing on trying to figure out how to make a slug round out of these wads, shot cups. We're gonna have some fun with that. Loving this stuff. Loving this stuff. You guys can't stop the brain from thinking of creative ideas. It's always the best. Air gunners, we can do just so much more, so much quicker than firearms. We're not dealing with all those tolerances that they got to deal with. So, thanks for watching, and we'll come back at you later.